Welcome to this fine day. You are listening to Bras Panties and Sports. I'm Spitface, and I'm here with the always classy and sometimes sassy host of this show, the First Lady of Sports Talk, the one and only Cheryl Smith. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Hey, Spitface. Hopefully everybody's doing well on this bright, sunny day. And I know it's bright and sunny here in Miami.
Yeah, it's bright and sunny here in H-Town, and if it ain't bright and sunny, remember that it's sunny someplace. It's just imagine. And, I'm going to put this in. We are getting closer and closer to folks being vaccinated. And I personally, I don't know about you, but, I'll be so glad when I don't have to be 6 feet away from everybody. I can shake sometimes, shake somebody's hand, how you doing, sir, So, just the common courtesies and stuff. So, I'll be so glad. Whew. But y'all don't avoid, please, go get your shots. Go ahead. It ain't a conspiracy. Now, I'll tell you the real conspiracy is about our reparations, but that's a whole other self, let's talk about the real, because where the money. Now, check out the music this week on Shout Out. We are featuring performances from Ebony Camille plus Urica Rose, where they find their shining star, get the cold feel of the mute button. First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world, not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdies known as Zhang Willie and Rose Namajunas are flying the future of women in the MMA into the stratosphere. Their match was must-see TV. Have the women of the MMA done what women in the professional boxing could not do? Compete with their male counterparts for fans and money? Has the MMA basically ended women's professional boxing? Could Zhang or Rose become the female versions of Floyd Money Mayweather? Marvelous Marvin Hagler, please rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Well, Spitface, my son Michael wants to be a MMA fighter, and because he wants to be, all of a sudden I've been watching the MMA, and I actually watched the fights on UFC 261 last night, and it was everything to MMA fans. I mean, the two women matches led into the main event of Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. They got they got a lot of names you got to know how to pronounce. Before I get to the women's fight, if you haven't seen it, and you need to go on YouTube and look at the grotesque thing that happened between the fight of Uriah Hall and Chris Weidman, it really would make you squeamish. And that's all I'm just going to tell you, because in the first minutes of the fight, Weidman tried to try a leg kick against Hall's legs, but Weidman's legs snapped. I mean, it was horrible looking. I mean, you thought you see somebody's leg break. I mean, that's horrible. And I mean, it was limp. It was just, oh my gosh, I can't even describe it. It was squeamish, like I said. But the match was over. It was a TKO, and Weidman was carted out of the octagon. Now, let's look at the first women match. The first women match featured Valentina Shevchenko. She's the flyweight champion, and she masterfully defended her title against Jessica, and I cannot pronounce these names. I mean, Andromea. These names are very hard to pronounce. A lot of them are Spanish names. But anyway, she had put her in a dangerous triangle position, which led to Jessica's submission. Now, many people feel that Valentina is the ladies' GOAT, when it comes to MMA, but I'm quite sure Amanda Nunes would have something to say about that because she is spectacular. And especially, you know, Nunes beat Valentina before, so that's why I think she really is the GOAT. But the main women event was Zhang Weili against Rose Thug Namajunas. That's what Spitface. That's what she goes by. Her nickname is Thug, Rose Thug. And, you know, Wiley had 21 consecutive wins before coming into that match. So, you know, she was definitely the person that people thought was going to win. But I'm going to tell you, Rose Thug, Thug Rose is what they call her. She had another thing coming. You know, she actually was the former strawweight champion before Wiley took over. So Thug Rose, she surprised everyone. She had an amazing head kick to Wiley, which dropped her to the mat, and she was stunned. Let me tell you, Wiley was totally stunned, and Thug Rose jumped on her, hitting her in the head. The referee had to stop the fight, and unfortunately, Wiley thought the match was prematurely stopped. I mean, I don't know why she thought that, because when she go back and look at that video, she would definitely tell after she got kicked in the face, she was completely dazed. So they had no choice but stopping the fight. So, you know, women's MMA fighting, to me, has definitely surpassed women's boxing. I mean, to be honest with you, you really don't hear too much about women's boxing. You know, the MMA in general is popular to begin with, regardless if it's men or women. But the women's MMA is definitely more popular than women's boxing. And what was so interesting about UFC 261, you had two women cards leading into that main event. Exactly. And there was another big, like I said, there was another men's battle on the card, but the two women's card, because those were championship titles, that was being, you know, that could have been easily, you know, they was fighting for a championship. So, but it just goes to show you how popular MMA women's fights are. And I still think boxing, women's boxing is still here to stay. I don't think it's going to really, MMA fighting for women is going to put women's boxing out of business. And, you know, because, you know, that's very hard to do. But I'm quite sure right now women's boxing is not at the level that it used to be. I mean, obviously when Layla Ali fought, that's when women's boxing was at its best. I don't think there hasn't been another Layla Ali, but there are some women in the boxing arena. And I think 2020 was their best year in women's boxing. I mean, I'm not familiar with any of the contestants, but actually it's funny. I think I know more of the MMA fighters than I do the women's fighting. Like I said, I'm just getting into MMA fighting. But to me, the way MMA is structured, the boxers will never make Floyd Mayweather money. The men nor the women will make that type of money, because if you remember, Conor McGregor he made his most money when he boxed Floyd Mayweather. He didn't make it from MMA fighting. So unfortunately, you know, there's money in there, but it's not like boxing money by no stretch of the imagination. And also, I just want to let you know, the main event, Usman knocked out Masvidal in the second round. It was lights out. I mean, he just totally knocked him out. And everybody was surprised because the announcers, I mean, they had three matches that they were just so shocked about. It was quite interesting when you went back and saw the announcers and how surprised they were in all three fights. So it was a great battle for UFC, definitely for UFC. Spitface, you think women's boxing will stick around?
I look at it and I'm going, will it go the way of the dodo bird? Now, overall, I really do like boxing over MMA. And part of it is that it is so hard. Boxing is just boxing. Not that MMA isn't a tough sport. It's just that, when you look at somebody, you're going to have to go 10, 12 rounds in the way and you can only use your hands. It's to me, the challenge is just up. Now, but that's just, my bias toward professional boxing. Women's boxing never, to me, really, really caught on like the way the women are catching on with MMA. And as you said, after Madam Ali left, that was kind of like the heyday for it. And I don't get the sport will go away, but I just go that boxing in itself is trying to reinvent itself so that it can stay competitive. And one of the things about the MMA and the women, they are good. And in many ways, you can see things a little clearer with the women fighters, and to some degree where the men are kind of like boring. Not boring, but it's like it's starting to occur to me that the women are bringing the excitement. Now the names are on the men's side, but the women are like almost right there, and I think that the MMA, as far as women go, is really going to end up setting a breakthrough for women athletes. And the only problem with the MMA is that they need a union. they need a union. Because otherwise, old boy got that money tied up. They need a union. That's all. Now, no fee. Well, I put it like this: I don't get that there'll be a MMA who make Floyd Mayweather money unless they get a union or somebody is just so spectacular that they can. What they need is a Don King. When Don King came in and broke up everything in boxing, that changed the whole landscape. And now he did what he did, but he really did break it up. Where a lot of these boxers actually started making some real money. And some of them, once they, made sure that Don didn't take their money, they got some money. They got paid. That's all I'm saying, First Lady.
Well, I don't know if Dana White is going to be able to give up that money. I mean, that's the whole problem, because the UFC, he is the owner and president, CEO, whatever you want to call it, of the UFC. So he's the one that determines these fights. He's the one that divvies out the money. And, I mean, you can't tell me UFC is not making money, because they was in Jacksonville, Florida, and they had a packed arena. It sure wasn't any social distancing, and we know in Florida, especially North Florida, because I'm here in Miami-Dade. In Miami-Dade, we still have to wear masks when we go into places, but not in Jacksonville, Florida, because I'm telling you, Spitface, it was a sold-out crowd, and it was packed, and not too many people had on their masks. So we still got these super spreader, but in general, the MMA is exciting. It's definitely gaining. It's already had gained a lot of followers. A lot of the younger people love MMA in comparison to boxing. I mean, boxing really is still considered the sport of an older generation. Not too much of the younger generation is into boxing. They're more into the MMA. But anyway, it was exciting. UFC 261 was all that it was. All right, Spitface, over to you.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering over the competition. I am towering. Record shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that'll all get sliced and diced. Competition, paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout punch to the Nationals by soon-to-be legendary pitcher Jacob deGrom of the Mets. 15 strikeouts, and he scored 2 runs. His 15 strikeouts gave him a total of 50 in his first 4 starts, a feat that hasn't been accomplished since not 1999, not 1969, not 1949, not even 1929, 1900. deGrom has more RBIs as a pitcher than earned runs. Is this just the thing baseball needs to bring more excitement to their game? Leroy Satchel Paige, Walter Buck Leonard, and James Cool Papa Bell are asking what you saying. I'm going DeGrom. Where the Mets get him from? You know, and why ain't he on one of my teams? You know, because my man is throwing the fire. He is throwing the fire. And I bet you the Yankees wish they had him, but that man is throwing the fire. And you know, and to be able to just even say as a pitcher that you got more, you got more RBIs than earned runs. You know, just as a pitcher, it's almost like saying, look, freeze this, because I want to keep that on my, mantle for a while, because that's a pretty good feat. But just the boy is smoking. He is just smoking, and the way he's doing it is bringing some excitement to the game. And baseball needs some breakthrough people doing, like I said, breaking some records, or at least accomplishing some feats to bring in that younger audience, so that we ain't a stale old man game. Come on, baseball, get some cognacs and cigars and watch your and a hard seltzer and get your baseball on. First Lady, what you say?
As I said last time when the Padre pitcher Joe Musgrove had a no-hitter, I'm still not yet into baseball. The same thing applies to Jacob deGrom, who actually he grew up in the Mets system. He was in the Mets minor league, and I think he came up in 2014. And it was an amazing accomplishment, no doubt about it. But do I need to say who really cares? Because the Mets are still mediocre. They're currently 8-8, and the Yankees, my goodness, they are 9-11. So basically, I'm not following baseball right now, regardless of what's going on. And the casual baseball fan, they're still not excited at all about baseball either. And this is still the major problem for baseball. And, I just think they're not excited. And the game itself, if you understand baseball, the game itself is not accepted worldwide. Even though the league has had games played in Mexico, Australia, Japan, and the United Kingdom, they've been doing this since 1996, there still is not that excitement around the world about baseball, and not even in the United States. They need to market their players. That is the problem with baseball. They do not market their players. The NFL, they really don't market their players either, but they do market their teams. NFL is a team-oriented league. The teams. Like you got the Cowboys fans, you got cold-hearted Pittsburgh Steelers fans. These fans travel with the team wherever they're playing. So that's why I said the NFL, they market the team. Baseball doesn't market anybody. The NBA obviously focuses on the players. In the NBA, the crowd always want to follow up where the players are, what the players are doing. But the point is, they're marketing. What is baseball? Baseball isn't marketing anybody. I mean, Mike Trout has been the best player in baseball for several years. He could walk right past me, and I still wouldn't know who he is. He can walk right up to my face and say hello. I still wouldn't know who Mike Trout is. That's a problem. And baseball needs to do a better job bringing notoriety to their major stars. I mean, that's the major problem, Spitface. You know, you can get excited about what's going on, but really, are we really getting excited? I don't think so. I mean, only the die-hard baseball fans are getting excited about it, but, you know, I don't hear any other people talking about baseball and what Jacob deGrom did. Yeah, you know, they're not talking about it. And you want to know something, Spitface? I hate to say it. I get more excited about watching the Little League Championship than I do baseball. That's it. Yeah.
Baseball, y'all still got a lot of work to do. You know, the first lady says she's looking at Little League. You know,
I like Little League. Little League is great because you got all the teams from the international teams come over to play the teams in the United States, and there's been some really great players that they came out of the Little League. Believe it or not, Mike Trout played in the Little League championship game. He's from Toms River, New Jersey. We knew more about him in Little League than we do about him in baseball.
All right, baseball, y'all need to have First Lady come in as a marketing consultant. But First Lady, please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll have a performance from Ebony Camille on Shout Out Part 1.
Welcome back. The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Ebony Camille.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Today we are featuring music from Ebony Camille. She says, quote, music has always been the pioneer of my life. I've been singing since I was 4, so naturally I've been addicted to the rush of creating music and being successful in the music industry, end quote. All right, Ebony Camille, let's hear rap.
Your mind all over my body. Take your time. I'm not worried. Relax your mind. Not so hurried. Wrap your mind all over my body. Remedy, bring your body, baby. I'ma play a melody to bring you out the rain. Chase away a shadow. You might forget me, babe. I just wanna help you let go, taking it nice and slow. Your mind all over my body. Take your time. I'm not worried. Relax your mind. Not so hurried. Wrap your mind all over my body. My bedroom magazines. Oh, baby, got your frame, so stay right where you're laying. Got your wanted pictures hanging on my window pane. So when you say you're coming, please don't play no games. Oh, I've got my channel set, but I guess don't wanna rest. Let's play this through all night. Get lost in all its highs. Find passion in the lows. Baby, you're my antidote when the world is being my kryptonite. Cause nothing seems to be going right. Wrap your mind all over my body. Take your time. I'm not worried. Relax your mind. Not so hurried. Wrap your mind all over my body. I see you working it, building your way. I can see you every week. No one can do it like you do. One call away. We don't have to stay. Let's get away. Long as you're here with me, I know we gon' make history. Wrap your mind all over me, over me, all over me, over me, over me. Oh baby, just take your time. When you're loving me, loving me, loving me, loving me. Your mind all over my body. Take your time. I'm not worried. Relax your mind. Not so hurried. Wrap your mind over my body.
All right. That's Ebony Camille with rap. Well, I'm definitely going to shout that out, Spitface. I like the singing. I love the way the track was put together, and it was nice. It almost had a gospel feel to it, but it's not a gospel song, definitely not. But for some reason, it almost felt like it was a gospel song. It was quite interesting. I mean, maybe that's just my interpretation of the song, but But I like Ebony Camille. Definitely, I'm going to shout it out. You hitting the mute button, or are you shouting it out, Spitface?
I'm shouting it out, and she got a little twitch in her, but it didn't come across that way. But she got a little twitch in her, but I'm shouting it out. I thought it was. I'm with you, First Lady. I thought it was nice. I'd like to hear another track from her.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we're not going to hear another track for her today, but you can always check her out if you like what you heard from Ebony Camille. Check her out at Old Grumpy Radio and JLawsonMusicGroup.com. That's JLawsonMusicGroup.com. But on part 2 of Shout Out, we're going to have a performance from Urica Rose. That's something good. We're getting 2 ladies today. All right. Is that the sound of my favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
All right. It is time for Flip It, where our hosts defend the view and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. First Lady, are the Heat a dead team walking? Injuries have plagued the Heat, but they will be in the playoffs and a tough out. Right now, it's just tough in the East. It is tough in the East. But the one thing is that the Heat have been there, and fortunately, the injuries to their players have not been season-ending. So they get a healthy complement of players coming back from those injuries, and it could be right on time. The main thing is So long as the butler can serve it up, Now, if the butler get hurt, because he the engine that make the little fire truck run, then the Heat will be in deep, deep trouble. But right now, I'm looking at the Heat. They don't have it where they can get back to the finals. That ain't happening. But they are going to not go down easy. Injuries or not, other teams in the East got injuries also. But they will be there and rise to the occasion. That's what I'm saying, First Lady. They'll be there.
Okay, well, the Heat, they started this season off on the wrong track, if you think about it, because they had several players in COVID protocol. Matter of fact, their two best players are in COVID protocol, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. So, they started off on the wrong foot. Then, they had a string of injuries that complicated the team's ability to look like the team from the bubble. But, they were able to withstand the COVID problems, injuries, and they actually went on a streak for a while. I think they won like 5 to 6 games in a row. And the thing is, though, they just can't seem to sustain their momentum. I mean, the team surely doesn't look like the team from the bubble. I mean, the main problem is that they had major turnover personnel-wise. Remember, Jay Crowder was a very good pickup for them, and he was instrumental in them going on their run last year. And then they traded for Victor Oladipo, and we all know what happened with Victor Oladipo. He's sitting out injured, and the Heat gave up Kelly Olynyk and other players, Chris Silva and Avery Bradley. Now, granted, Chris Silva and Avery Bradley really weren't playing for the Heat, but Kelly O was playing real well. And right now, Kelly O is definitely missed by the Heat because, they had to go out and get 2 more big men. They traded for Bielitsa from the Kings, and he's been riding the bench lately. I was shocked that he was riding the bench because he hasn't been playing well. They had to go out and get another center, Dwayne Dredman. He's been playing well, but he's definitely no Kelly O. So the problem with the Heat, they just don't have that chemistry that they once had. And we all know when it comes to the playoffs and winning, to me, it's all about chemistry. But, they're going to make it to the playoffs. But I just believe they're going to make it to the playoffs, but they're going to be beaten in the first round. But it's definitely not the same Heat team that they once had. It's like the fire has been dimmed a little bit. They just don't have that same chemistry anymore.
All right. Okay, let's flip the script. Defend. Looks like it's more than injuries, and the injuries hurt. No playoffs. And, First Lady, sometimes when you, how they say, lightning in a bottle, and that's really kind of how it happened for the Heat last year. It was like lightning in the bottle. They hit at the right time. They were in the Orlando, closed off. They had to deal with COVID, all of that, and they hit it. They hit it at the right point, where they, dealt with all the circumstances. And I pretty much tipped my hat off to that team. That team really was amazing. And they came out guns blazing, but it is not the same story. It is not the same story this year. One, they ain't sneaking up on nobody. Two, they've been getting whooped. And they was getting whooped when they had everybody, So it's not like, wow, they were whooping butt, and then, so-and-so is going to be out for 3 weeks. Oh, man, no. They have just not been, they've been competitive, but nowhere near the way they were set up last season. So now I look at things and I'm going, Pat, my man, you need to make a deal because they got they got some tools, but they need. I'll put it like that. They need, And Pat, you the man. You need to go get what they need. First Lady, defend.
Well, the Heat, they always have a way of coming around during the playoff time. Even though, they've been struggling. I mean, they're currently in 7th place in the league. They've been struggling. But, again, they have Jimmy Butler. But, sometimes you just can't get over the hump, when you have a whole bunch of injuries and it just doesn't work out well. I mean, the pundits expected the Heat to really have a great season after what they did in the bubble. But you know what? I always said it. I thought the Heat overachieved when they were in the bubble because of the fact that they have that Heat culture. The Heat culture can take you a long ways, but unfortunately, it's not going to be that long in this season because the Heat are experiencing problems. They can't sustain what they're doing, and, they're just going to be able to survive. I mean, they're not going to make it to the playoff. I give it to them that they'll make it into the play-in tournament, but that's not the playoff. That's just the tournament to get into the playoff. So that's where the Heat will be. They're going to lose in the play-in tournament, and everybody in Miami is going to be really disappointed about this team. But unfortunately, the team just started off bad, and they just continued to not be that team that we expected them to be last year. And First Lady, it looks like the married bearskin rug guy eased on in the studio. I see him waving. Hey, busy, Matt.
What's going on?
It is interesting to see him and the missus going through the airport naked with a bearskin rug, but, I guess they, worked it out.
Yeah.
He had to get another bearskin rug.
He had to get he had to get the big blanket, the big rug, one that you could, the big bear rug.
He had to get the 2-seater.
Right, the 2-seater rug, All right, on that note, First Lady, please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Up next, the funnies and our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2.
Go Baskin Rugs.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for the funnies. Spitface, over to you.
All right. If there's nothing that the First Lady, Dizzy Mac, and I don't love more than almost anything, is our dumb criminals. Our dumb criminals teach us that crime does not pay, especially when you're a dumb criminal. Burglar busted thanks to Cheeto dust on her teeth. She was caught orange-handed. A woman was busted for a home invasion in Oklahoma thanks in part to Cheeto dust found in her teeth. Authorities allege Sharon Carr was arrested on a first-degree burglary charge after allegedly committed the dangerously cheesy act Friday at a home in Tulsa. Cops say they arrived at the home that night where a mom of 2 young kids had called 911 to report that another lady had pried a screen off her window and gotten inside. The snack-loving sneak had already fled, but cops say they found a bag of Cheetos and a bottle of water on the floor near the open window. A few seconds later, however, Carr allegedly emerged from the shadows. The mom identified her as the invader, and the bust was further cemented when they found the incriminating orange snack food residue still stuck in her teeth. Cops think she dropped the bag while making her escape. a good reminder that Cheeto dust can be pretty hard to get rid of. Tulsa Police wrote on Facebook. I don't eat Cheetos. I think I remember why. Got to brush your teeth for 4 hours after eating a bag of Cheetos.
Too much teeth.
Gosh darn, if water splashes on you, it must be time for our favorite underwater friend. It's time for Flip It. First Lady, over to you.
The Brooklyn Nets are looking like the shakiest gun in the East, with nagging injuries everywhere, especially with KD and the bearded one. Makes you want to be a Knicks fan. Hey, all right, panel defend. The Nets will lose their number 1 seed in the East because of the injuries. Spitface defend.
Whenever you quote build those superstar teams, and it has been done. The Warriors, the Bulls, teams that got built kept adding. The Lakers, notorious, bring those players in, build that team, get you 3 superstars and some players who were superstars who are about to head out the league, but they still got something in the tank, got that veteran and do the thing. And I think it was just like almost a foregone conclusion that because the bearded one, KD, Kyrie, that, hey, they were just going to blow everybody out. And it looked that way. But they have been playing like the shakiest gun in the East because they've been, 1, injury bound, and 2, I do not trust. I do not trust Harden. Harden couldn't win. He couldn't win when he had KD, up in Oklahoma, and, it was 3 superstars. And, the man is a living shrink machine. So I was kind of looking at it and say, okay, he got KD, he got Kyrie. The pressure won't be on the bearded one. He won't disappear. And I'm like, wait just a minute. Call his ass Houdini. That man, that's going to be gone. He's going to be gone come the playoffs. First Lady, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
James Harden.
All right. Dizzy Mac, defend. The Nets will lose their number 1 seed.
They're going to lose the number 1 seed. KD is hurt. Beard is hurt. And Kyrie is mental. And it's going to be rough because, again, when you have somebody that's, putting up 11, 12 assists a game, KD can go for 30. They're going to need that. Kyrie can't do it all himself when he is there. There's too much. The injuries. The injuries. They're gonna creep up and they're gonna, lose their number 1 seed. I'm not gonna say they won't put it together, but they definitely gonna lose that number 1 seed. Philadelphia is coming. Philadelphia is looking good. And believe me, if it was even more time in the season, I think First Lady Knicks would claim the number 1 seed to have more time in the season.
Okay. I heard you. You know how I feel about my Knicks, Dizzy Mac. But, to me, it is amazing that the Nets are currently still trying to hold on to that number 1 seed. I mean, if you think about it, the Big Three have only played 7 games together, and it is amazing that they're going to do this. But I don't know. They are the shakiest gun in the East, and to me, chemistry is everything in basketball. And unfortunately, I don't see them being able to keep it together to maintain that number 1 seed because, like you said, Dizzy Mac, the 76ers are coming in strong, even though they just lost to the Lake. I think who they lost? No, they lost to the Bucks. But it was either the 76ers or the Bucks to come strong and take over that number one seed. It looked like a good idea on paper to have the three of them together, but people forget KD was coming back from a very tough Achilles injury, and the bearded one came into the Rockets training camp out of shape. He was totally out of shape. So after he was traded to the Nets, he was actually playing at an MVP level, but the fact that he was out of shape, it caught up to him. That's why he has a hamstring problem. And like Dizzy Mack said, Kyrie, we all know Kyrie is being himself. He is a head case. It is a mental issue, so we don't know when he's going to explode. But like I tell the New York people, hey, the Nets are going to lose that number one seed, but, hey, we still have the red-hot New York Knicks, because I still think the Knicks are going to go further along than the Nets. All right, this is Flip It. Panel, defend. It was going to be tough anyway. KD, Kyrie, and the bearded one will put their big boy pants on and win the East. All right, Dizzy Mack, defend.
They gonna come back. They just giving them rest. Steve Nash know what's up. He's gonna make sure KD gets rest. He's gonna make sure the bearded one gets rest, and he's gonna make sure that Kyrie gets the psychotic help that he needs. Out there, he's gonna do what he needs to do to put it together and make sure that when he rolls the ball out there and the three of them get out there and play, it's gonna be like magic, music on the court, doing their thing. Oh yeah, see, Shimmy Shake Girl's kissing me on that one. Yeah, Shimmy Shake Girl number one, definitely doing her thing. But yeah, she knows that when you put all three of them together, it's gonna be, icing on the cake. You're gonna see Joe Harris hitting threes. You're gonna see the young center jumping out, dunking. They're gonna do it. They're gonna put their big boy pants on and they're gonna band together. And Brooklyn is gonna be in the house. Brooklyn in the house.
All right, Brooklyn is in the house. All right. Spitface, defend.
All right. Nets fans, I just want to let you know something. You might as well sit back and relax, because they will be facing an opponent in the West. So, and the only way for them to face an opponent in the West is that they make it to the finals. So just relax and get ready to watch the show, because these boys, one thing is that one, they got a lot to prove, and when you bring in and you make those trades and you bring in those kind of superstars and you make those kind of moves, the only thing you want is to win. And KD, Kyrie, and the bearded one, the last thing they want to do is the only way. I put it like this: if it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals and double overtime, and they lose by 1 point, then they would not have choked, because anything less is a choke job. And if they don't go all the way, and if they don't make it super competitive, I'm not saying they got to win it, but they got to, like it's got to go down to the wire. If that don't happen, I don't see that team coming together next season, especially with who probably disappeared. But so they're like, look, we got to do it. So I put it like this: if KD and Kyrie gotta go, look, Harden, we don't want to hear about no migraines. Hey, just pass the ball. We got you. They are gonna take the East. and make it competitive in the finals. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
Okay, well, the NBA is about the stars, and everyone knows on a given day it can be a star player to help propel you to where you need to be. So let's look at the Nets. They have three of them. They have KD, Kyrie, and the bearded one. Now, the question is, can they gain chemistry before they, before the finals begin? It's 3.5 weeks left in the season. I think each team has about, 14, 13, 12, between that and, 14 games left in the season. And I believe they can catch lightning in the bottle. I believe that. And because they got three superstars on the team. Now, the question is, are all the superstars going to be together? Hey, we don't know that. But to be honest with you, all you need is one. And to me, KD is the key. And they can win the East still because the Sixers, they have a tough schedule too. And Embiid got to play at his best. And right now, Simmons is not even playing. He's injured. I think he was out sick or something going on with Ben Simmons. So, Kyrie got to get his head into the game. And KD, he got to be careful. He's had a bruised thigh the other day against the Miami Heat. But the real concern is the bearded one. Because of that hamstring, hamstrings will last you a long time if you're not able to stretch it out. So the thing is, though, I think because they got to put on those big boy pants, and they will, and these guys are winners, they're going to make it to the East. But like you said, Spitface, they got to get to the finals because anything other than getting to the finals, it is a failure. Now the Knicks, they can just get to the playoff and lose. The Nets can't. The Nets have to win the East for this to be a success because anything else is not a success. So I think with the three of them, they'll figure it out, and they will definitely win the East and get to that finals. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
All right. And anything else is a big-time failure. On the other side of the break, we have a performance from Urica Rose on Shout Out Part 2. Please stay tuned. And you know what? I noticed that Dizzy Mac has that new married bearskin rug. It's that one that got the two hearts on it, So it looks like it was twin bears. But keep your ears glued to those speakers.
Happy birthday, Mr. Vine, number 60.
All right. Hey. Free Mr. Vine.
You are still listening to Bras Panties and Sports. It's time for Shout Out Part 2, the picks and the finale. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
All right, we have a performance from Urica Rose. She says this: Texas-born singer, songwriter Urica Rose migrated to Queens, New York at an early age. Innately talented with vocals, she surrounded herself in the eclectic grit of New York City's music metropolis. Influenced by all genres of music, she crafted her blended vocals of buttery soul, tenacious grunge with sharp hints of operatic clarity, while lyrically surfing over trap pop beats. Damn, girl. DJ, let's hear Murder.
Easy, baby. Y'all sleeping on my rock drip, so I hopped on the track just to pop it and watch y'all brains go dumb, diddy-dum-dum, diddy-dum-dum. I ain't ain't a killer, but don't push me. I'm a sweet chick, evil kitty. Mess around, I'll be a murderer. Hop on the speed, I will murder ya. Murderer. 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 I shot the sheriff. Murderer. 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 I shot the sheriff. Bop, bop. Hi, bop, bop. Hi, bop, bop. Hi, I shot the sheriff. Murderer. Murderer. I shot the sheriff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All these fake booties just standing in a line. The bag, what's that? The butt fat and it's mine. I'ma pop this for real. Trigger one time. Murderer. 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 I shot the sheriff. Murderer. Murderer. I shot the sheriff. Bop, bop. Hi, bop, bop. Hi, bop, bop. I shot the sheriff. Murderer. Murderer. I shot the sheriff. I'm a savage. Fuck around and get your heart eaten by a bad chick. I don't need to show me where the bag is. Feminist pussy. Dangerous. None of these haters can play with us. Dangerous. Danger. Chick with a hell of an attitude. Fine, nigga that I could beat him as a ragged-tooth. Mess around and gouge out your eye. Don't know what you like. You gon' go bye. Murder is the name that she wrote. Fuck around and lose the back of your throat. Got the shotty for your body. Ain't Illuminati, but I know karate and I know crazy. I shot the sheriff. I'm a murderer.
All right, that was Urica Rose. The name of the track is Murder. It's the track getting a shout out of the mute button. Dizzy Mac, what's your vote?
Hey, we're going to give a shout out on that one. You know, it seems like, you know, with a catchy hook to it and catchy little tune. You know, one of those, you know, Friday night cigar smoke, you know, room type music thing. You know, so Dizzy Mac gonna give a shout out on that.
All right, Dizzy Mac says shout out. The Semi-Say girls and the wife all are agreeing. Okay, First Lady.
I'm gonna shout it out because she said murderer, and she came in with different links. Well, you know, different references to several different songs, and they had a little West Indian, Jamaican feel to the music too. So you know, I always like reggae. So definitely, I'm going to shout it out. Urica Rose was very good. Definitely shouting it out.
Oh, hey, Urica, you got a very good from the First Lady. I'm shouting it out, too. It kind of brought me back to, remember, Cash Money Brothers. The Cash Money Brothers. And one of the crew was a woman, and she was a murderer. But that was my kind of girl. See, I like that. That was my kind of girl. You know, that was my kind of girl. I like that. Look, I know she got my back. She gonna get you before I do. You know, my kind of woman. And you know, that kind of reminds me. But recently, I actually met a lady. Now, I met a lady as I was buying my incense at the sex shop. Now, the sex shop is the only place in town on my side that got good incense. So, you know, I'm not there to get my freaky deaky toys. I always get them on Amazon. But other than that, I'm talking to the young lady, and, you know, at the counter to check out, okay, you know, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm listening to her conversation. And I tease her, and I say, now, look, baby, you know, I know not to get you upset. You be done hit somebody over the head. She said, oh, no, I will shoot them. And I'm like, you will shoot them? She said, hey, you know, I had to shoot 2 guys up in Jackson, Mississippi. And I'm like, okay, all right. You rolling like that? Yeah, they died. And I'm like, okay, baby. I said, you know what? We might have to do lunch. But that's a different subject. That is the end of shout out. If you like what you heard from Urica Rose, murder, check her out on Old Grumpy Radio Network. And artists, stop sending us one track. If you got one good one, send the second one too. If you'd like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to content at oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, back to you.
Yes, they need to send more than one track. All right. It's time for the hardwood picks. Who will win the hardwood crown? All right. Unfortunately, you know, our production crew and our associates, they were basically, you know, getting their act together, you know, after the George Floyd trial and everything. They just was glued to that, so they couldn't get our picks this week. You know, the results.
In other words, they got drunk celebrating. Couldn't roll their butts up into the computer.
Well, I was trying to look, Spitface. I was trying to be professional about it, but since you spilled the beans, we will definitely have the results next week. But anyway, let's get to the current picks. By Saturday night, my hot streak New York Knicks will rank higher than the Milwaukee Bucks. 500 for the correct answer, 500,000 for the incorrect answer. All right. You know, hey, look, I'm a big Knicks fan, but unfortunately, right now, there's too many games. The Bucks are too many games ahead of us, so I'm going to say no. But keep looking out. We will definitely get to. I guess we will be higher than the Bucks eventually. All right, Dizzy Mac, what's your opinion? The Knicks will rank higher than the Milwaukee Bucks by next Saturday.
No, they're not make it that far.
You said no?
No.
Okay, Spitface?
And if I'm gonna roll with the dice. The Knicks are hot. The Bucks are. The Bucks. The Knicks are right on them. They ain't that far away. So I'm gonna roll the dice and go with the hot streaking Knicks, and go that the Bucks are gonna be stumbling a little bit this week.
Okay, well, they're going to have to stumble a lot because the Knicks are 4 games behind, and it's only 7 days in a week, so they only play so many games. But anyway, that's my reasoning. All right, let's move along.
They're going to lose them all.
They will need to lose them all. The Mavericks will rank.
They're getting ready to go on a losing streak.
Okay. The Mavericks will rank higher than the Lakers $250,000 for the correct answer, minus $250,000 for the incorrect answer. I am going to, actually, let me go with you, Dizzy Mac, first.
Let's see. For this one, I say yes.
Okay. Spitface?
I'm going to say that the Mavs are going to edge them out. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say yes, too, because it's they're a little bit closer. It's a game and a half difference, so that is doable for the Mavs, and we all know the Lakers are not playing well. Matter of fact, they lost last night to the Mavs, right? Okay, the last one. The Clippers will have the best record in the West. $250,000 for the correct answer, minus $250,000 for the incorrect answer. Spitface, you're up first. Spitface?
I think he's under the rug, but I'm going with the Clippers.
Okay. Actually, I was calling you first, Spitface. So
I'm going with the Clippers.
You're going to say yes. Okay. I'm going to say no. Dizzy Mac?
I'm going to say yeah. Yeah, the Clippers are going to do it. They doing it.
Okay. Well, the Clippers got to go over two teams. They got to go over the Suns, because right now they're third, but it's still close and they're bunched together. All right, we'll definitely have the results for next week. All right, it's time for our outrageous prediction. Spitface, what is your outrageous prediction?
My outrageous prediction is that for the first time in a long time, baseball's popularity will exceed the NFL.
That is outrageous. All right, Dizzy Mac, what is your outrageous prediction?
My outrageous prediction is there will be 2 one-hitters pitched in the National League Baseball this week. 2 one-hitters.
Okay.
Wait, 2 one-hitters. 2 one-hitters.
2 one-hitters. Not 2 no-hitters.
Now, you know he was being bold, not just 1, 2.
Okay. My outrageous prediction is that the New York Knicks will win the championship. I'm going to go with it now while they're on a hot streak. I'm going to say they will win the championship, and I'm praying that they do win the championship because I'll win $7,500.
Hey, wait, how much you win?
Well, $50.
$7,500. I think I need to be praying with you.
I put a $50 bet on the Knicks to win the championship at $15,000? What was it, $15,000 or something like that? Positive? I don't know what it was. I don't know anything about gambling, but I had done this at the beginning of the year, and trust me, I hope it comes true. All right.
Hey, let's root for the first lady. Go Knicks. Especially since my Bulls ain't going nowhere,
We proudly salute our women veterans and hope to increase awareness of their military service and sacrifice. The women's veterans are the fastest growing subgroup of the veterans. Women have unique health and wellness goals. All right, so we're going to shout out to the Veterans Women's Enterprise Center, our partners in empowering women veteran business leaders and women entrepreneurs. Please visit us at BrasPantySports.com, where you'll find links for the latest episodes. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Spitface, and welcome back, Dizzy Mac. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's a wrap.
Yeah.